Hello and welcome to Amethyst Style Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at Peaceful Noel again, and we are going to do a really fun background using two of the stamps, which is this little corner piece here and these tiny little dots down here. So just those two, and then we are going to take out the fill the season with, and we're just going to take the happiness out of the centre there to make a fun card which would go for a birthday or any other things, but not for Christmas yet. I will be doing lots of Christmas, but not until October. So the colours that we're looking at are Coastal Cabana and Flirty Flamingo, and we need a mount which is a base piece which is 5 1/4 inches square, opening it up 10 1/2 inches. That's our base. The first mat is in the Coastal Cabana, and that measures 5 inches square, and the Flirty Flamingo mat measures 4 1/2 inches square. So those are our two mats, and that's the colour tone that I'm going to do this in today. So let's, we need our Stamparatus, purely because positioning for this, it's really good to have the Stamparatus. Now I have lined my stamps up first. So the first stamp, you're going to do it as if it's on the corner, but you're going to line the little dots up so that they go horizontally down on the line. You'll see as I stamp it. And we've got a piece of Whisper White, which is 4 inches square. And I have got my my wreath that I've made. This is an acrylic one, slightly different to some of the other ones you might see out there. But if you go back on my videos, if you subscribed, you will actually find it. So I'm going to put my stamp set just underneath because it helps to balance it. And we are going to ink it up in the Calypso Coral. Move it across and just stamp it down. Now the nice thing is that I want it quite dark, so I'm going to ink it up twice on each one and just press it down. Then we are going to rotate it one turn so it then goes on to the diagonal, and then we are going to repeat the process. As I say, there are lots of different wreath builders out there. You can even actually buy a wreath builder, but I did this one on acrylic because I wanted it to be used again and again and again, and I've used the same one the whole time. I think some of the ones that you do with paper that you cut out, they're great for the first couple of times, but if you get ink on the sides, you can't wipe them off. So as I say, do have a look back to this one, because as I say, I find it the easiest to do, and I've measured it for 4 inches and a 5-inch one, so you can do it on either or. So as I say, we're just going to work our way around. The Stamparatus is just so good for doing this because it gives you that lovely pattern. And you know it's going to be exact because you just move it along, and you can get these great patterns. And as I say, I was just playing around as I do with new stamp sets. As I've said before, I think part of the fun of buying a stamp set is, am I going to use it? And I think we all have that gut reaction when, particularly when a new catalogue comes out, like our Autumn Winter catalogue, and we write ourselves a wish list, and we write every single thing that we want on there, and it might be just one stamp in a whole set that we think, oh yes, no, I really like that, I'll have that. And then we get the stamp set and we might use it once for that one particular stamp that we really fell in love with, and then it goes on the shelf and it's not used again. Now for me, that is such a waste to just have it sitting on a shelf. So I do a wish list exactly the same as everybody else, and I want absolutely everything in the catalogue. However, once I've made my wish list, I will then go back to it, and with a piece of paper I will write down, can I make at least 6 different cards or projects using this stamp set completely differently? And if the answer is no, then I take it off my wish list, because otherwise I would buy every single stamp set in every catalogue, and unfortunately my budget won't stretch to that, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of you. So I try and buy stamp sets that I can do lots and lots with, and that's what I like showing you. So we have done a few with the Peaceful Noel, and this is just a lovely way of using 2 little pieces that we might not always have used. So now we've done this one and we've gone all the way around. You can see what a lovely pattern it's created. Now we are going to take, and I'm swapping this over, we're going to take the little tiny, I could have done it on the other side, but I didn't want to lose the little piece on here. We are going to take this tiny little blob piece, and that is going to fit perfectly, says me, lining it up. It should fit perfectly in between the 2 spaces. And we are going to do this one in the Flirty Flamingo. So we're just going to ink that up. Now I will tell you that lining up this little stamp here was quite difficult because it's little blobs, and when you put it down on the Stamparatus, it doesn't want to lie flat because the little blobs stick up. So I did spend a few moments doing it to get it positioned, so be aware of that and take the time to try and get it positioned the way you want, because as I say, it is a tiny little piece, but I think it just makes such a lovely pattern for the card to finish it off. And as I said, it makes it usable for all sorts of projects, as I say, not just for Christmas. So let's move this round again. And again, I've just chosen these 2 tones. Any of your favourite colours, any 2 colours that you want to make that will blend together, use those 2. And as I say, just move it round so you get this lovely pattern coming on. The magnets are great because they hold it in position, and you can see it doesn't matter if you get ink blobs everywhere because it just doesn't go on your project. So it does work out very well. So let's do this next. We've got 2 more to do. So there's one, and the last one on the diagonal, and we'll just put that one in there like that. There we go. Okay, so that's all we need our Stamparatus for. I am just going to give this a quick clean up because, as I say, I've got Flirty Flamingo over it. This is where the Simply Chamois comes in to its own, because it's absolutely perfect for just literally quickly wiping those pieces off and then doing the stamp as well. So, and as I say, I store it in one of our thin cases. And as I say, wash it every couple of weeks or so once it gets a bit dirty. But yes, it does look well used, but that's the idea of it. So let's put the Stamparatus away for a minute. Take this one out. I'll just move that out on the side so it's not in our way. And now you can see, let me hold it up, you can see you've got this lovely pattern that goes round very simply. So we are going to take our bases. Excuse me. So we've got the Coastal Cabana, and we've got the Flirty Flamingo mat, which just literally goes on here. And then we've got the piece that goes in the centre there, which, as I say, I think is an absolutely lovely pattern. Now, I took the happiness here, and I'll show you what I did with it. If you want just part of a word to be stamped, the easiest way to do it is to put it on a block, and then with a piece of washi tape, and I tend to save the little pieces of washi tape that I've got left, you are going to mask this over. And with this one, because it's quite, it goes right the way down to the next word, I'm doing it on the opposite direction like this. And then I'm doing it on the opposite direction just like that, just to cover it all. And then making sure that I haven't got it, I'm just running my finger line along so that it doesn't come across on the little tiny eye. And then I'm just going to use a good black. So let's use a good black, and you stamp over the whole lot. Okay, so you need to make sure you've inked it up well as you would normally. And then the thing you have to remember, before you stamp it, you're going to take the washi tape off. So very carefully fold it up, because it'll be covered in ink and you'll get it all over your fingers, which is what I normally do, but I haven't this time. And then you're going to take your piece of scrap paper. Let me see if I've got a little piece of scrap that I can use. Yes, there's a little piece up here. Okay, so you are then going to stamp it, and you will just have the one word that comes out. So just stamping it in the centre, exactly as you would do normally. Leave it for a few seconds, because obviously it's words, so you want them to come out clearly, and then press it up. And there you have just happiness. And what I did was I used the second largest oval, and I then put happiness on there. So we are going to put that. I'm not going to mount it all because it will take too long, and you all know how to do that bit. So you pop that in the centre, and then just to add, you can line it up, because it will line exactly between, and I would put it with a couple of dimensionals. And then we are going to bring out our new Take a Pick tool, which I am using quite a lot at the moment. I've still got it in the box, but for those of you who haven't seen it, it is a great 5-in-1 tool with lots of different attachments and things on it. I'm going to be using, let's do on this, I'm going to be using the little pickup tool. I have to remember to pull it off, and you can see I've got quite a little bit that's come off on here, so I'm just going to take a little bit off, and you can see it's a little bit like blue tack or a type of putty, so that and it is just sticky, so I tend to just sort of dab the top a little bit so that I get it into the shape. And then we are going to take our lovely metallic sequined assortment, take the lid off carefully so I don't throw them everywhere, and I don't know what colour am I going to use on this. I think I might use the copper, because the copper's rather nice. So we're just going to take a little blob of glue, and I'm just going to put one in each one of the corners. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can always add some more later, but I'm going to start with that and see how that goes. So yes, I want the copper ones. So let's pick them up, and they are so easy to pick up. I've actually got bits of glue and goodness knows what all over some of these ones, because I have used them a lot. So I'm just going to separate them off, because it's a bit unfair to get it to pick it up when it's not separated. So you can pick it up very easily, and then we're just going to put one in the corner there, and you can see it does go down very easily. And we're going to take another one in the corner there and just pop that down, and let's find another one. It's attached to a silver one. Pop that one in that corner like that, just pop it down, and oh, there's one stuck up on the side. Let's see if I can pick him up. Just attach that on there. Yes, it is so easy to pick them up, it really is. I've used pokey tools and goodness knows what to try and get them done. So you've got that on the corner, which just adds a little bit of sparkle. Now, when I get, which I haven't got yet, I have got the Vegas Gold Shimmer Paint, but when I get the copper, I think it will look really nice with just copper around the edges. But it was to show you a fun way of doing a really pretty pattern, and taking the stamp so that it just says happiness instead of the whole fill the season with, which makes a fun card. I will show you another colour combination that I did, which was in the Lemon Lime Twist and Tranquil Tide. And again, it's exactly the same patterning. And let me put that in the centre there. So you've got that colour tone as well, which I think looks quite nice. And you can do, if you wanted to step it up even more, this was one that I did on a 5 by 5 inch on the Stamparatus, and I did an extra row. Now I've done it all in the Lemon Lime Twist, and what I would probably do is alternate it to give the blue and the green together. But you can see you can make some absolutely lovely patterns. And again, it's something to do with another one of the stamp sets, which isn't for Christmas, but is a Christmas stamp set, Peaceful Noel. So thank you so much for watching me, and I do look forward to seeing you again. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I do post regularly. And look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.